Hi everyone, it's Judy. Welcome back to Rose Lane. This is the flip through of this lap book that I've been working on. You've seen a few videos on it, you know, some of the panels I've been working on, but I would turn on the camera every once in a while, not for the whole process. Most of it was done off camera. But anyway, it is finally finished. And so I just wanted to show you what was going on with this and how it all turned out. So it is about 10 inches top to bottom and about 8.5 inches from side to side. And I am still going to stitch. I'll do a little hand stitching and stitch the ribbon down. I haven't done that yet. But I prefer to have it attached because I'm sorry about the ink, but I was finishing up tonight. I do want to have it attached because the plan, well, in my mind's eye, for this book is that it's a lap book. And as such, you would take it places. You might sit in your yard or go to a park and lean against a tree or sit in your living room chair or something where you're resting it on your lap. Well, when you open it all up, it's 4 panels wide and double-sided, so it kind of makes it like 8 panels, but 4 panels wide. And that's kind of unwieldy to keep in your lap. So I wanted to make it so that it could fold in and back on itself so that you can work on 1 or 2 or 3, however, you know, whatever room you have, to set it up however you want to work with it. So anyway, let's get on with this. Let me find where this is. We'll undo the ribbon, and I'm gonna pull it over to the side for right now because it isn't attached, and because we're going to be doing a lot of flipping and stuff. So you've seen the fan. You've in the previous video to this, you would have seen basically how I put the pocket on. You saw part of this tutorial. What you didn't see was me measuring and cutting out for these elements, the fan blades and for the petals, which I'll show you at the end, just quickly, at the end of the video after we're done with the flip through. But you did see me decorate the petal cards. You saw me placing the flowers. You saw how the pocket looked, that kind of a thing. So anyway, we'll go on from here. So I did put the lace, and like I said, this was puckered up, this pocket, and I just kind of tucked it up underneath it and then topped it with a bow. All of the 3 spines in here are double fabric with Tyvek in between, and it's stitched down. So it shouldn't move, it shouldn't shift, it shouldn't break or tear or whatever. So it's pretty, they're pretty sturdy. They're pretty sturdy spines. I made it out of a file folder, actually out of a few file folders, so that the bases, each panel is made from a file folder. Doesn't really resemble them anymore, but that's what I used. So we've got journal up here. There's butterflies throughout the thing. I was thinking what I wanted to call it. I thought I was going to call it Butterfly Garden, but then when I put the fan on it, I thought maybe I'll call it a lady's garden because ladies have fans. So anyway, so you know that this comes out. You've seen it in the pictures at least. It does fold up. You actually can fan yourself with it if you really wanted to. You just, you know, fan yourself. And all of these cards come out like this. So you can journal on the front and the back of each one of these cards. You can also journal on the back of the fan itself if you wanted to do that. So what you didn't see me do, you saw me do this part, but later I added lace. I added these little rosebuds and a little bit of bling. There's bling all over the place in this journal, well, lap book. I really used the rosebuds and the lace and the bling, really the little, you know, silvery things here to kind of accentuate things and separate stuff because the papers are very collaged. And I'm just going to put this over to the side. They're very collaged, and I needed things to stand out against them. So that's sort of what I did. When you take the fan out, you can also journal under here. I used this paper where it's kind of empty in the middle. You can journal there as well. So I'm going to stand up only because I think we're only going to be able to see 2 of these at a time. Let me move that over. So when we first open it up, we have this first panel, and you can see what I mean. There's a pocket here, and a pocket here. I have the ribbon and the, let me see if I can bring it up a little bit. The ribbon and the rosebuds, not too fast, and the bling and the lace. And you're going to see that kind of a thing all the way through the journal to kind of like accentuate it so that you could see it against the backgrounds. Because like I said, all the papers are very, very collaged papers. So there's 2 tags in here. My tags are plain as usual on the back. So they go in here. I have 2 tags there. I have 2 tags here in this pocket. And I have 2 tags here in this pocket as well. And I'm keeping that one kind of pumped up there. And all of the butterflies on the elements and on the panels they're all have the wink of Stella, the like emulsion glitter sort of thing. But only on the panels did I put the little blings on their bodies because I thought it would be too much on the tags. So anyway, we're going to open this one up first. I'll put this way. You're actually kind of seeing almost 3. Let me see if I can move this little box I have here back. There we go. We're a little on an angle, but actually I am going to pick this up a little bit. I want this over because this opens. Every panel is tied with a ribbon to keep it shut. Okay, so this one is tied. Here there's 3 tags in here. 1, 2, 3. And these this is how this one came. This one I collaged. This one I collaged. All the papers were Nathalie's from LineDotArrow, except for the butterflies and anywhere where I added flowers like this or the flowers in the front for the fan on that pocket. So there's 3 here on this side. Me being symmetrical as I am, there are 3 on this side as well in this pocket. So I'm like right up next to my phone here, which is my camera. There is a magnet here on this wing, but it wasn't quite enough for the weight, and when I was flipping it back and forth, it was coming out. I toyed with putting another magnet in, but I decided instead, because I had done some ribbon in other places, that I would do this. So now this opens up, and there's 2 pockets here on the side that I made from envelopes, and in these pockets are more tags. So we have this tag that goes back here, this tag, hold it up for you for a second instead of just kind of flipping them around. Then I have one of her little coin envelopes, which has a card in it, a little journaling card in here. Ooh, there's always something I didn't ink. So that goes back in there, and that stays there. And then I have these 2 cards. I inked those, and they go in here kind of on a slant to take, to kind of hold that in place. We've got the same kind of thing on the other side over here. We have a journaling card here. I'm almost afraid to flip them over because I probably forgot to ink something else. So now I just have to remember to go back in there and do that. I'm trying to put them in sideways. You think I can do it. One here. I'll get smart. I'll go at it the way it's supposed to. Let's see if I did this one. Another journaling card in here. I did ink that one. And that goes back in here. And then we have the birds over here and more roses. I think they're actually supposed to go the other way, but we'll figure that out later. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it now because I have to be like that. All right, we'll do that and then like that. Okay, so this is a panel that you had seen me working on before. This has a 3-pocket flip here, and there is a tag in each one, and I did collage on these. These are flowers, fussy cuts and butterflies that I had, and I did not do the wink of Stella on there. I think I'll go back. See, when you do these things, you find all the stuff you missed. So there's one there. There's one here. Again, yep, I have flower here. I can feel it. And a butterfly there. And that goes back in here. More, of course, with the lace and the bling and the little rosebuds. And then another pocket here with another card. This is collaged on, and this here, and the butterfly as well. And I did do it. And then that goes back in here, and that flips over here. This is a piece of coffee stain paper that I just stenciled on with a green. I think it was probably Shabby Shutters or something. It wasn't the paler green. You can journal on this side. You can journal on this side. There's a pocket underneath with another tag in here as well. So that's this piece here. So these go back. This goes back. I'm going to tie this. I'm going to just take that minute to tie them because I am going to be flipping things around, and I don't want it to flip and flop and all that kind of stuff. So we'll tie that. All right, now we're going to move over to the second panel here. You can see I've got a journal in the middle here. I'm just standing up so I can make sure I'm staying in frame as I'm flipping it around. So you untie this one, and this is a waterfall. So each one of the waterfalls has a tag in it, and it's all the same paper. So we have one there, and I made them to kind of go in a little bit so they'd stay snug. So in doing that, you got to get the little tab in the right place again. And here's one here. Okay. I shouldn't really have to take out all of these, but my goodness, the fact that it is just tags all over the place. And, you know, I was thinking as I was making it, what could, you know, other than a journal, you can sketch, because these are plain on the back. If you're an artist, you can sketch on them, you know, besides just journaling. Once all of these things are full, the tags and everything are full, if you do sketch, you can go back with just sketching paper and put them in all of these pockets as well. You know, anything like that. So, I don't know, you could use it for a recipe. I don't know. I mean, I guess you could use it for a lot of things. So, we have that one as well. And then, as true to a waterfall, they flip up. Plain here, you can do pictures here, you know, put photos or something and journal up here. You have another one here, another one here, another one here, and another one here. And then all these go down, and this lifts up, and you can see you have the back of that. I'm trying to do it in the camera. And then all down here where you can journal as well. Okay, so these go back down. Let's get them tied again. And I'll move on to the journal that's in the middle, which I kept very, very plain. I did no stenciling. I did no real pockets. I'm going to just close this for the moment so we can get over. I'll open this one so that'll lay flatter. So what I did here was I took a big mailing envelope and I made pockets out of it. So that is what made the cover. So you have these large pockets in here that you can put papers and things like that. I wouldn't put little things in there, but, you know, folded papers or other tags or something like that. Something, you know, that's kind of big. But it's a storage pocket. And then it's just plain on the back here. Can journal if you want. And then I have my pink paper, and then some graph paper, and then pink paper, just plain, and graph paper. Pink, pink, and then graph in the middle. And this is bound, you can see I did do the pamphlet stitch on it, so it's one piece. And that's all it is. It's just plain paper here again, and the pocket on the back. And I did it with elastic so that you can take it out. So there's an elastic in here, as you can see, and you can take it out and replace it with something else later. So that goes back in there, which I didn't have it in the right place, but I do now. Okay, so now we're going to move on to this panel, and we're going to open this tie. And true to my promise, let me get back into frame here. True to my promise to myself, I made a large pocket on the side, and I have my Trifold Tuxedo pocket. So what I'm going to do here, I'll grab this. I have stuff in here, but I'm going to grab this and just put it down just so that you can see it because it's another element that opens. I didn't do anything to fasten it closed because it stays in the pocket. So we have a large card here with our, and this is why I didn't put the bling on here, because I didn't want it catching, going in and out of the thing. I'm going to sit for a second while I do this one. I think I can probably stay in frame if I'm careful. So this has the whole 9 yards for me. So it's got, when I made the original ones, I made them with these secret pockets. So there's the little square piece of paper that you fold into a triangle and you just stick it back in there. And when you open this up, you can still journal in here, but this is also a pocket and another little piece of paper in there. And then when you flip it here, there's a spot to journal as well. So, and then the card, the tag goes back in here. When you open it, you have the same thing on the other side, another tag, another little secret pocket in here with the paper. Put that back. And another secret pocket. If I can grab the paper right in there, and that goes back, and then you can journal here as well. And then the card goes back. Holds that flap down. When you open it up, we have pockets inside. I'll make sure I am in frame with this. I am. So we have pockets inside here. So you have a tag over here. All of the space is meant, it's left this way because it's meant to be journaled on. We have a gigantically long tag in here. Again, all the space meant to be journaled on. And then when you turn this tag over, there's another pocket. You can journal here, and then you can journal on the back of this tag as well. And then that goes back up in here, and that goes back into the pocket. And then this card over here, this journaling tag, and then more space here where you can journal. So that goes back in here. And then when you close it, you flip it over, and another pocket on the back with another journaling card. And that goes back in there. So I'm going to move this out of the way now. Put it back up here. Whoops. Knocking into things. Hopefully it won't fall down. You have to take this out to get to these tags. There's 3 pockets here. So they're just put right in here. So there's 1, 2, 3. I believe when I counted, I have about 60 tags or 65 tags or something throughout the whole piece. And then I have all these other places that you can journal, like on the inside of this, the secret pockets, the page that flips up that I showed you over there. So we have that as well. So now I'm going to move this over this way. This is kind of standing up. Make sure that we're in, and you can see the spines here, and I am. Okay, close enough. Okay, ooh, I didn't tie that one. I need to tie it. Okay, so we untie this one, and you can see all the bling and the butterflies and the roses. This opens up, and we have 2 lace pockets in here with little tags. I'm hoping this is in frame when I opened it. It is. Okay, you hear my creaky chair. It's comfortable, though. 2 more tags over here in a lace pocket. Then this flips down, and I'm going to move this up because it may be off screen. One of them's going to go off screen. But in any case, you have another lace pocket here with another journaling card here. And then you have this one that flips up, and another lace pocket with another journaling card that's in here. And then in here, you have 4 circle journaling cards that tuck in here under each one of these little flaps. I left it so that you could tuck, and I put 4 circle cards in there so you can journal on those as well. So that closes, that closes, that closes, and this ties. Okay. And I'm just going to sneak back and do this one so the ribbons don't confuse me. Okay, we'll put that back here. All right, then when we close this side, we have more pockets here. And so there's a large card in here, there's a card in here, and there's a card in here as well. So you have 3 more cards in here. So that goes in these pockets. On this side, I got square tags and rounded bottom pockets. So we have that. And then the last thing that we have is the back. And back here I have one of these paper clips that I had made. Here as well I put a magnet, but it got kind of thick. So I just threw one of these on, and it actually is neat because it's actually sticking, like, you know, like the magnet here is down here and it's sticking. The metal is sticking, so it kind of holds it in place, which is really kind of neat. So all I have done was I just spin it around. So on this pocket I have this card, and this was like a picture frame, and I put this butterfly on it, which needs its wink of Stella. This opens up, another lace pocket here with another card in there. I think it goes like that. This opens up. There's another card in here. And another card in here. And then one more card in here with a tab on it. Makes it easier to take it out. This is where I have the magnet. Now, what I did was I put the magnet underneath this little fussy cut flower, and it's raised up, and I knew that it would hit, so I just coated it with Fabri-Tac. Just kind of wiped it with Fabri-Tac to give it a protective coating. So it is, you can hear it. It does sort of click. So that goes back this way, the little paper clip, and then there's one more tag in the pocket at the top. So essentially, now the only other thing I wanted to show you, what's my time here? Oh, that's good. So this is what I wanted to show you. If you wanted to work here, no problem. If you wanted to work on this one, you can just fold it this way. Okay? If you wanted to work on that one, you fold it here. If you want to work on this one, you fold it there. If you want to work on this one, you fold it here. So any panel that you would want to work on, you just fold it back and forth, and only one panel will show. If you want 2 to show, then you've got 2 to show. It just depends on what you want to do. It's kind of a little floppy, but it does work. And like I said, if you just want to journal, then you just take this out, and you can just sit and journal on your little, it's not very much. I think it's like 30 pages front and back. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. It's actually 36. Is that right? Did I count right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So it's 36 pages plus these pockets that I made. So that is that. That is the whole piece. And then, like I said, this just goes back into the pocket here, and it kind of tucks underneath the wings, and you can just arrange your little fans however you would like. So that is the book. Now what I want to show you, and I'm going to take this away because of the color. I'm just going to fold this back up, which takes me back to my old mat underneath here. Sorry about shaking the camera, but I just tucked that in the side. All right, so what I'm going to show you now is a little bit about how, because a lot of the ladies in the comments in the Facebook groups were asking me, was there a tutorial? There's not really a tutorial. You saw mostly what I did in the last video. But what you didn't see was me making the templates or anything. So there's no formula to this. I just kind of looked at the front of the book and the space that I had. I took my ruler and said they could be this long and maybe this wide. And it just so happened that the numbers that I guessed with were fine, and they worked. So what I did was this. I made the templates. I'm going to bring it up to the camera so maybe you can see. This was 2 inches wide at the top. This is the fan blade. Okay, 2 inches wide at the top, and of course 2 inches wide at the bottom. I just brought it in on an angle, sort of to where I thought it looked good, and it just so happens that it's like 5/8 and 5/8 over here. So the angle, this is just 3/4 of an inch. So down the middle, you know, you just sort of make sure that you're making a nice square box or rectangular box. and it was 4.5 inches high. So 2 inches wide, 4.5 inches high. You start from this corner, you measure the middle, which you can see my little dot right here. That's 1 inch on either side. And then you just bring it in. 5/8, 5/8, and then you go up from there. To make the petal, I followed the same lines here, cut it shorter once I had it done, and found something round that fit in here. I forget, it was like a bottle of glue or something that I just put in here, and I just sort of traced it because it fit. And this is how wide it ended up being. This was 1 5/8 across, so that's 1 5/8, 1 5/8, 4 3/16, and I know they're funny little, you know, measurements. They're not rounded off to anything. It's just how it happened. I brought it in 1/2 inch from either end, and I cut it shorter because this piece, and I show you the ones that I cut, doesn't go all the way down. Okay, this is how it looks inside the pocket when you put this in. Okay, so all I did was I glued these two together, and like I said, when I glued them together, I glued them first, and while the glue was still wet, I just stuck my bone folder in like this and just sort of squeezed until, you know, it stuck. So it gave me that little pucker. I'm trying to do it without gluing it. It gave me that little pucker. Come on, cooperate with me. Which I showed you in the other video. That's my out right there. But anyway, it's not doing it because it's not glued. But if I take this out, you can see it. Okay, you see that little pucker that it's got. I'm trying to. Okay, so when you glue it, you just sort of squeeze it so that you get that little pucker. And like I said, I put my bone folder in, and that's what allowed me to hold it and squeeze down. Okay, and when I was done with that, and it was all glued together, now let's just say this is all glued together, I took my scissors, and all I did was just round it off because I knew I wanted it a little rounder. And it does not have to be perfect, but I rounded it off like that. Now this is glued, and I inked it first, and then I put the paper, I glued it to the paper and then inked it. And then somewhere over here, I have my little, yeah, I think I used this, no, I didn't use this one. What did I use? Did I use this one? I used this one, I think. I just have this little hole punch here, and I found about where the middle was, like anything else that we do, and up enough from the bottom, and I punched a hole in the bottom. And then I put my longer brad through, which I didn't get. Hang on one second. I'll run behind me and grab one of those. It's back here. I'm coming. And these were, you can hear my stuff falling because I'm still trying to organize. These are what you call these old-fashioned paper fasteners. They're round head brass paper fasteners. We used to use them years ago. I don't know if they really use them much anymore, but I have those. I stuck it through. I pushed it down this way, like that, and I took my cutters. These are my cutters that I use for my beads as well. And I just cut them shorter, like this, so that they didn't overlap. And then I just took a piece of card, which I can just grab something here. Just a piece of card that I just cut from something scrap. I put it over it, glued it down, so that it made a cover for it, which is what you see here, which you can kind of see here. I don't know if you can see, yeah, you can see that. You can see the edge of the paper. So I just glued it down. And once that was glued down, I did it not over that, but over this. Once it was glued down, all I did was cut around it. Like that. That's all I did. It really wasn't that hard. Like I said, these are the measurements that I ended up with. I didn't pre-measure, except for how wide my cover was. so that I didn't want it to go past the edge of the cover. And the rest just sort of fell into place. So it's going to depend on whatever it is, whatever size you're making. If you're making something smaller, obviously, they're going to be shorter and narrower. If you want it to be in a different position, like standing straight up on the cover rather than slanted like mine was. I had mine going this way. Maybe you want yours going like this. Try to open it up here. I'm missing my one card. We don't want to lose that. Maybe you want yours to go this way on your cover. Obviously, you're going to need them short, maybe not shorter, but definitely narrower. And if you do that, just keep in mind that your journal, if you want your cards to be journaled on, the narrower they are, the harder it's going to be to do. So it's just going to depend on what you're going to use it on. So, but basically, that was all there was to it. And then the rest of it, the decorating and, how I put the paper underneath here and put the lace on, and I showed you the lace. And a couple of you ladies asked me where I got the lace, and the links are in one or two of the Facebook responses that I had given. I couldn't tell you which, but I know they were there. If you didn't see that and you want to know, the link for the lace, just let me know. Maybe I'll try to actually put it into the description box with this when I put it up later. So that is it. That was the whole thing in a nutshell, and this does have a nice forever home. It will be heading out hopefully by the beginning of the week. And that's it. So I am finished with this, and we'll be moving on to the next project. But in the meantime, guys, take care, be safe, be happy, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.